talk about that tonight. We are definitely going to talk about that, and this is what I'm going to be giving away. This is an 1878 Morgan, and I'm going to give you a good look at it. Let's give people a chance to get in, get some notifications out, and anybody who's watching ads, I always appreciate that. Biggs Prep, Lee, good to see you. I saw Stuart in here. I know I saw Bacon a little while ago. He was grabbing some food. It's good to see everybody. We're gonna be talking about this and how you can have a shot at winning this. Of course, let's get a couple things out of the way. You know, my giveaways and contests are not affiliated with YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or any other social media. This is me and me alone. As always, you will have to be a resident of the continental United States. I'm sorry, but shipping and other issues of trying to get these out of the continental United States has become a serious problem. So don't blame me, blame the post office and customs and things like that. So you'll have to be a member, you'll have to be a resident of the coastal United States, the 48 48 continental states. You'll have to be 18 plus, not affiliated with YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. This is just me giving away an 1878 Morgan from my personal collection, okay? So stay tuned through this video. I'm going to tell you how to get that. God is great. Amen to that, brother. Good to see you. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. I really do. Thanksgiving is such a fun holiday. For me, growing up, it was my favorite holiday in my family. My cousins used to come in and we had such a good time hanging out with my cousins. And it's like, to me, Thanksgiving is the best meal of the year. And of course, it is the holiday of gratitude, right? So that's what makes it so awesome. Gratitude is so important. Like, even when we think our life is really, really hard, if we stop and breathe and take a minute and think about all the things that we have in our life, we can find that gratitude, right? Unless you're like in a third world country and you were born into like human slavery or something like that, all of us have something to be thankful for. So amen to that. Amen to that. All right, so let's get into the topic at hand. I am going to come back to this, and if you're in chat, like, give me a little thumbs up so I know if you all can hear me okay. I can pop on my earbuds if this is not working. I assume if I don't hear anything from y'all that we're doing okay. And don't let me forget, I promise you we will come back to this, I promise. And if you haven't already, today is a good day. Virginia Bushcraft, good to see you. Appreciate you. Today's a good day to check out Apmex, and I put a link in the description. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and drop another link right now. I am an Apmex affiliate, so I do get a little commission when you use mine. But even before that, I've been using Apmex for a very long time, and they are very, very reliable for your silver and gold purchases. There you go. There's your link right there. They're very reliable for your silver and gold purchases. I've always gotten exactly what I wanted. And when I had a small little issue one time because the quality of a coin was a little bit different than what I expected, I contacted them and they made it good. They made it good. All right. So I highly recommend Apmex. Proud to be an affiliate for them. So if we have time tonight, in fact, I'm going to take a look at that website with you all, and I'm getting ready to do a purchase. So y'all can help me out with that if you want to stick around till near the end for that part of it. LG, good to see you. Appreciate you. Hope everybody's having a good weekend out there. All right, let's get to the topic at hand. We'll come back to the giveaway here in just a little bit. While I'm talking, I'll show you some of my coins. These are not all of them, but this is some of the coins that I've got. And if you have questions, throw them into the chat. I'll try to catch everything. If you want to debate me, by all means, throw that into the chat too. I try to catch it. Only rule I've ever had here is, you all know, it's okay to disagree with me. It's okay to even, like, you can say, I don't know what I'm talking about, or you're stupid or whatever. I don't really care. You don't bother me. It takes a little bit more than that to get under my skin. But I do ask you to please be kind to each other in the chat. Okay, that's always been my one rule. And if you don't do that, the mods have my permission to put you in timeout or bounce you completely. It's a quick way to get banned from my channel. Okay, and yeah, you'll be able to watch it. I'll get the views, but nobody will see your comments. That's how that works if you get banned from a channel. Appreciate you, Days. How you doing? How's everybody doing out there? Did anybody, while I'm going through this, did anybody order any silver and gold yet? This is one of the old Libertads here, 1985. not that old, but older than the style has changed a little bit since this one. So as you all know, I've talked about this before on my channel. If you're brand new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I talk about all things preparedness. As you all know, I subscribe to and I contribute to a lot of different prepper forums out there, right? So the new preppers, experienced preppers, whatever. I'm part of a lot of forums out there. Sometimes I'm commenting as Prepping with Sarge. Sometimes I'm commenting as an anonymous profile because sometimes I just feel like laying low on the internet, whatever, right? But one of the common things that I see come up is people will say, well, gold and silver are completely useless in an SHTF situation, right? So first I'm going to validate you. So I'm going to take both sides of this in this. So if you think I'm coming on here to say like, you know, that make fun of you for that statement, I'm really not, even though the thumbnail might have made it look that way. I had to get you in here somehow, but I'm not going to treat you like that. I'm going to say, if it's a truly bad situation, right? So when most people are talking about SHTF and they say something like that, I assume that what they're saying is like Mad Max, you know, zombies, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria, you know, frogs flying out of the sky, swarm of locusts, that kind of thing, right? So if we had a situation that was that bad, sure, yeah, gold and silver is probably not going to do you a whole lot of good, okay? The other thing that I will say to validate you, yeah, we're going to talk about that, Days. That's thing one. You are 100% right. And the other thing is, if you are if you're not prepared with your food stash first, okay? If your prepper pantry does not have at least a couple months of food set up first, then don't worry about this right now. This is something in your preps that comes later. Okay. And no, you can't eat it. Okay. But there's a whole lot of other purposes. And if you stick with me and you keep an open mind, I'm going to explain that to you. Because I think it's most of the time when people say it has no use in an SHTF situation, they're only thinking of like those Mad Max situations. Okay. So Wayne, good to see you. Appreciate you. Who's your prepping nurse? Appreciate you. Thanks for coming by. Cold War Prepper says, it's not only scenario dependent as far as value, but when you're in the timeline of those scenarios, that determines their value. Absolutely. So one of my good friends here in the prepping community here on YouTube, I'm not going to out that person because it's not my story to tell. On one of the live streams on one of the other channels was talking about her silver and gold stash, and that she had gotten into a personal SHTF situation and was basically homeless. And she had to sell her stash to get back on her feet. She had to sell her silver and gold stack. Okay. That's exactly a very, very good example of why it does matter. Because SHTF is not only zombies and Mad Max and Book of Eli. There's many, many, much, much more likely scenarios that you're going to encounter that gold and silver are going to play a role. Okay. But let's go historical for a minute. Maples are the most silver I have in my stack. Yeah, and if you're YJ Overlander, it's good to see you. If you're from Canada, I think that's great strategy. Me being in the U.S., I also stack some Canadian silver and some Mexican silver, but the majority of my stack is U.S. silver, right? And I have a strategy for that. I don't know if we'll get into that too much right now. And mods, by the way, Cold War Prepper and Bacon, if you guys want to drop anybody's links, feel free to as we're talking here. I appreciate that. Always good people in the community here. If there's anybody that you want to help out, go ahead and drop those links. So historically, right, how long has the United States been around, right? So if we're going to use, obviously it's been before 1776, but that was the Declaration of Independence. So let's just go with 1776, right? So what, 250 odd years, right? 250 odd years. That's not that long in terms of empires and nations in the history of the world. And silver and gold is an asset that has survived the collapse of numerous civilizations, right? So how does this work, right? So if you're worried about the future of the United States, and many preppers are, then what you would assume is that, let's say that the United States completely fell into a collapse, right? Worst case scenario. Bacon, I appreciate you. Bacon, by the way, a little sidebar here. Is your address the same one that I had from last year? Because I was going to send you something. Let me know if you're still rocking that same address. So how this works is when a nation collapses, obviously their currency collapses with it. But silver and gold, the value of the metal itself, does not. So let's say the United States, the US dollar became worthless because of some war or something, and our government collapses, whatever. All of my silver and gold has value all around the world, and I can go into anywhere in the world and I can change this into the local. Awesome, appreciate that, Bacon. I can go anywhere in the world and I can change this to the local currency, okay? So when you understand that, and you understand that that has been for thousands of years, the gold and silver has transcended empires, has transcended the collapse of civilizations, then you start to get it. Then you start to get that it actually does have a very big place in the preppers, in a prepper's strategy for preparedness, okay? Because I can go right now, let's say that I had some reason that I needed to get out of the United States. I could take my stack. Now, obviously, if I'm going to do like this, what I'm talking about now, you're going to be better with gold than silver. But one of these, this is, I think, a quarter ounce. This is 500 US dollars right now, thereabouts. If I wanted to sell it right now, I could easily get 500 for this. Think about how many of these I could, carry over the border into Canada or Mexico or into Europe or whatever. Now, legalities aside, right? Because there is legal limits to this. If you're, and this is where wearable gold might come into play. Traveling with more than $10,000 in gold is going to get you into some trouble at customs, right? But there's some exceptions to that for wearable gold and silver, right? So this is actually white. This is white gold with a silver base, right? And so this is why it's good to have some of your stack should be in the form of wearable precious metals. Okay. Now, more recent history, we know that World War. Actually, let's go back to the Civil War, right? So during the Civil War, if you wanted to get through the blockades, you might have to pay somebody in bribery money in silver and gold because it was basically untraceable, right? If the United States wanted to purchase some help from, say, France, there's a good bet that that was paid in silver and gold, okay? If you wanted to, in World War II, wanted to get out of Germany, there was a pretty good chance that you were using silver and gold, and a lot of that would have been in the form of jewelry to bribe your way across the border and then basically exchange to the local currency of whatever nation you land up in. You understand? Right? So it's really short-sighted, right? I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but it's short-sighted to assume that if you're traveling, hang on one second, let me read Bacon's comment here. If you're traveling close to the legal limit of precious metals, are the border guards more likely to look at that? Probably. You probably are going to have to. I mean, of course, if you're traveling for that kind of reason, you may not be within the bounds of the law, anyways. And so, I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything illegal. But when it comes to survival, everybody's going to have to make whatever decision makes sense for themselves, right, and their families. So right now we have people in other parts of the world that are at war, and some of them are trying to get out of the country that they're in. In the prepping world, we call that getting off the X, right? And right now this is happening. In some parts of the world, people are using precious metals to get out of where they are and start a new life, okay? So, yeah, precious metals are not completely useless, except in the most extreme circumstances. Okay, so only in like Mad Max scenarios is the precious metals not going to be able to be much help to you. And even then, you can make a medicine out of pure silver, which is called colloidal silver. And I'm not going to show you how to do that right tonight, but you can look up, there's plenty of videos on YouTube that shows you how to make colloidal silver. LG, I'm not sure what you said there, but it got retracted. Let me see if I don't know if it'll let me see it. All right, no worries. So yeah, you can make a medicine that acts very much in the similar to an antibiotic with silver and some 9-volt batteries, and you can watch videos on how to do that, right? Hey Cynthia, it's good to see you. Appreciate you. All right, let's see what else. What haven't I shown you here? These Britannias, right? Goldberg but said he was broke. I had him hand over. There you go, Days. There you go. All right, these Britannias in 2021 and 2022 have actually been one of the best deals that you could find in the gold stacking world right now. There's compared to the American Eagles, the gold Eagles, you're getting much more gold for your currency for these Britannias, and that's still true today. So just kind of be aware of that if you decide that you're going to go make some purchases on gold. Love these Britannias. Beautiful design too. So let's go a little bit more recent. Let's go a little bit more recent. So what about the collapse of Venezuela? So if you follow Lee's channel, right, Cold War Prepper has been covering the Furfell's book, The Guide to the Economic Collapse by Furfell. I'm gonna blank on his full name. So Cold War Prepper, if you can drop that, I appreciate that in the links. And Selco has talked about this a little bit too. Let's talk about Furfell first. During that time period, people were using gold and silver jewelry to get basic needs, right? So people saying the other myth I hear people say is nobody wants your gold and silver. They want canned peaches, or they want bullets, or they want canned beans or whatever, right? That I hear people say stuff like that. Well, that's not true either, because Furfell has and Selco has told us that there are people when your system collapses, there are going to be people out there who already have all the food, all the ways to purify water. They've got plenty of weapons and ammo. Those are the people that are going to be running the streets. And guess what they want in exchange for a can of peas? They want your grandmother's gold and diamond ring, right? So yeah, there would be a market for that, because we know there has been a market for that, right? And these are the Buffalo nickels. Bitcoin's in a bad place right now, Days. I am not anti-crypto, not by any means. In fact, I dabble in crypto right now, and that's probably needs its own stream to get into that, like with where that's at right now. But right now, cryptos are in a bad place. I could probably do an hour just kind of talking about where I think the future is going to be for that. All right, this is not the same Morgan that I was showing you earlier. So we know in the collapse in the economic collapse in Argentina, not Venezuela, I'm sorry, Argentina, that silver and gold mattered in the black markets, and that was how people could sometimes buy food and medicine for their children and things like that. And Selco said the same thing, but Selco, I believe, said that it was there were so few people in his area that had silver and gold that sure, yeah, you probably would have been able to use it to get some valuable stuff, but so few people had it, right? So that's the thing. The people who have plenty of food, the people who have medicine, they're going to be looking for this. And there's one more reason, and some of you already know. Got the antibiotics his wife needed with gold. Yep, there you go. So in the aftermath of a currency's collapse, there's always a rebuilding, right? So let's say that something really horrible happens in our beautiful United States of America, and the United States of America, as we know it, ceases to exist. Eventually, there's going to be some kind of stabilization, right? Could take 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Eventually, something emerges out of the ashes of that. I appreciate that, LG. Yeah, if you guys are enjoying this content, if you're watching this on Rewind, please consider giving me a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you join. There would be a rebuilding at some point. Like somebody's going to emerge and take power. That's just a reality. It's happened thousands of years all over the globe. And precious metals for thousands of years have retained value that because it's used for industrial uses, medical uses, all kinds of things. It's the only currency, actually, I would say it's the only currency that has survived over 2,000 years, okay? So in the rebuilding after the collapse of a government, after the collapse of an economy, this absolutely silver and gold has a place there as well, okay? So That's the thing. And so when you hear somebody say you can't eat silver and gold, it's useless because you can't eat silver and gold. Well, I also can't eat my knives, right? I also can't eat my tools. I also can't eat my lighter. I also can't eat I don't know, my cans of gasoline. I also can't eat my solar panels, right? I can't eat any of those things, but they have a place. All preps have a purpose. All preps have a place. And so when we lead in with an argument of it's useless because you can't eat it, it's just that it's not seeing the forest for the trees, right? And that's all I'm saying. Usually when people say like, oh, silver and gold is useless, and you start talking to them a little bit, don't come at them with an attack. Just kind of say, okay, well, what about like if something landed on your house today, right? And you needed to, that's a personal SHTF, right? What if you were out of work for 6 months, right? This might come in kind of handy, and I could sell this in bits and pieces to my local dealer and have some income to cover things like food and medicine and keep the power on and pay my rent and things like that, right? So you can't only be thinking about Mad Max. You can't only be thinking about, the Book of Eli and all these, The Walking Dead, like all these extreme situations. I think that's where that fantasy comes in. And, if the situation in the world gets that bad, I'm not sure. Yeah, you're right. Silver and gold's probably not going to help you too much. But I'm not sure that most of us are going to make it if it's that bad. Like, that's a fantasy. So think about all the stuff you're going to encounter between here and there, right? And most of us, to be honest with you, most of us aren't going to see the end of the world. It's people have been predicting it for thousands of years. The same signs that we see today, people have seen in every generation for 2,000 years. Okay, so most of us are going to not see the end of humanity. Most of us are not going to see. I hope most of us do not see the collapse of the United States of America. I hope that doesn't happen. But there's a million other things that exist between point A and Z where this is going to help you out. Okay. So last point on this, and then we're going to go into some other stuff. Last point, and I'll go back to the giveaway. We're going to talk about that in just a second. So this should not be your first prep. 100% agree with you. This should not be your priority. Your priority should be getting your food, getting your at least a couple months of dried goods, at least a couple months, a way to purify water, right? Pay down your debts. Think about your home security, right? Absolutely, James. Absolutely. And by the way, I saw you there, Uncle. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. This should be something you maybe start to think about after you've got most of your other preps covered. Then you can start thinking about your financial preps, right? And even then, I would probably personally start with, not that this is financial advice, my videos are for entertainment purposes only, but I personally would pay down my debts as much as I could. I think it's okay to carry some debt. I think it's okay to carry a mortgage. I even think it's okay to carry a car loan as long as you're sensible about how much you paid for that car and how much interest there is on your car loan, right? I think that's okay. I think it's okay to take on a little bit of student debt. Just again, I did a whole video talking about how much student debt is sensible. Are you going to be able to pay it down? Is your career going to make that the amount of student debt that you took on even make sense, right? So there's some debt that's okay. Maybe you have to take on medical debt for a family member that's sick, right? But as quick as you can, try to pay these things down. Try to pay them down. That's good financial preparedness. And if you're getting those bases kind of covered, then I think it's okay to start thinking about this, right? So not your first line of preps, definitely has a place in the preppers world, okay? If you guys want to throw out any other comments on that or anybody want to disagree with that, please go ahead and throw it in. Yeah, Unc, I don't know. I don't know. It definitely seems like we're always on the verge of conflict internally and externally. All right, let's come back to this little bad boy. This is an 1878 Morgan. I'm going to be giving this one away as a thank you to all of my audience. I really appreciate you. This has been a good year for prepping with Sarge. And just to kind of go through a couple things, if you watched my video on Instagram, I actually dropped this. This is one of the most humiliating moments. I dropped a beautiful 1878 coin, and it doesn't seem like it took damage, thankfully. But I dropped it live on my Instagram live. I had a good year. So my goal at the start of the year was to have 3,000 subscribers for YouTube. We definitely have passed that, and you know, it sure would be nice to hit 3,300 by the end of 2022. On Twitter, and by the way, my handle is the same on Twitter and on Instagram and on if you search Prepping with Sarge on those platforms, you'll find me. On Twitter, I am close to 10,000, and on Instagram, I am around 3,500, I believe. So how are you going to be eligible? This is my thank you. This is coming from my personal stack to the community as a thank you for a great year as a community. I appreciate everybody that's come to my live streams. Appreciate all the friendships. I appreciate everybody that communicates with me off the channel, right, through emails and chats and DMs. I truly consider you all my friends. But this is going to be open to the entire community. Must be 18 plus. Must be a resident of the continental U.S. Sorry, Canadian friends and friends from all over the globe. Talk to your customs people and talk to the U.S. Post Office and see if we can get that feasible in the future. How are you going to win this? All right, so here's what I want you to do. I'm trying to grow my Facebook page, right? So we're going to pull this in here. And I have a Facebook page. I'll show you what it looks like right here. You can look for it. Prepping with Sarge YouTube channel. If you search for that on Facebook, you will find it. And what I want you to do is come down here. Keep scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down. When you see that one, the 1878 Morgan, and it says, I can't believe I did this. I want you to leave me a comment in there. Hit that comment button, and you just write hashtag Prepping with Sarge, one word, hashtag Prepping with Sarge. Okay. When am I going to do this? Hey, Band Talks, good to see you. When am I going to do the drawing? Well, I'm going to do it live on, if you hang on one second, I'll tell you the date I'm aiming for. We're going to try to do it live on Friday night, December 30th. Okay. So to be eligible for this, you're going to want to leave that comment before, I'm going to have to say before I wake up. So we'll say midnight on December 3rd, 12 a.m. on December 30th. 12 a.m. on December 30th is the cutoff. You want to go to that spot and do, where is it again? Right here. See that picture? I can't believe I did this. And you're going to do hashtag on the comments. You're going to do hashtag Prepping with Sarge. Okay. And then on the live stream on Friday night, December 30th, we will do the Wheel of Fortune thing to pick the winner. All right. So that's that. That's how you can be eligible to win that beautiful 1878 Morgan. Anybody got any questions? Oh man, Cold War Prepper, I'm sorry. I kind of want to know what you did, but to get banned. And also, this not that you have to do this to be eligible for the Morgan, but follow me on Instagram at prepping_with_Sarge, and then I'm also on Twitter, Prepping with Sarge on Twitter. You can follow me over there. I get a little bit more political over there, so if you're curious, I don't usually talk about my politics on here. Oh, Wayne, come on, guys. Zuckerberg's banning all the good people. I get a little bit more political on Twitter. If you're curious about my politics, you can join me over there. Not like heavily political, but stuff that I generally won't talk about here on YouTube. All right, and then I got one more thing for those of you who are interested. Still unknown reason for getting kicked off in the first place. Oh man. Jeez, LG, I'm sorry. If it makes you guys feel better, I did get a 1 week suspension one time for a misunderstanding. Here's what happened. I don't mind telling you. I was in one of those prepping forums and I was talking about, I understand, James. I was talking about basically home safety with fires. And there was basically a whole thread about fires. And somebody started talking about candles. And I said, yeah, you don't want to leave a candle going because you can accidentally burn your house down. And so the AI algorithm took that as a threat, like that I was threatening that person. And I got I think it was a 10-day ban for that. Stupid, you know. This is why humans do a better job. Oh, man. Yeah, exactly, James. Yeah, they took that as a threat. I was trying to help somebody and they took it as a threat. All right, let's take a look at Apmex here, guys. So I'm actually going to do an order as soon as I get done with you all. And let's see what we got. So they do have some Black Friday sales going on. If you want to check that out, I usually, when I'm on Apmex here, I go to this on sale button first. It's running a little bit slow because I understand they are getting a lot of heavy traffic. Bruce Armstrong, I saw that. I hear you. All right, so I don't know if you guys can see this. The 2022 Maple Leafs, this is all the stuff they've got on sale right now. What I'm looking for actually is I'm probably going to purchase some of my 2023s because some of the 2023s are out tonight. But that's not a bad price on the 2016 Eagle there. 2012 Eagle. 2000. Wow. Okay, so there's some good prices on the older Eagles there if y'all are interested. So I'm going to go into the 2023s here. Let me take this off for a second. All right, so if you've never been on Apmex before, what you're going to do is go to available products. Oh, Band Talk, I'm sorry to hear that. I really hate censorship. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to, you can sort by year, okay? And that's what I want. So I want to sort by year, and I want the 2023s because I'm starting to build my 2023 stack. And what I'm looking for is not the slabbed coins. I'm looking for the ones that are loose. So we're going to grab one of these Britannias. Throw that in the cart. Wow, it is a little slow tonight because of Black Friday, and they posted something on Instagram about that. So just bring your patience. Okay, it was added to my cart. And then I'm going to hold off on that Australian coin. That's a little bit outside what I'm looking for. All right, I usually do get one of these Somalia elephants. I'm going to add one of those. All right, let's see what else. And you want to, usually on these, you want to go over, I think it's 200 to get the free shipping. Okay, I do get these. I usually get a couple Chinese pandas. So we'll grab one of those. Come on. There we go. Definitely want one of these Philharmonics. All right. And I'm going to pass on that jellyfish one. Yeah, we'll get one of these Kingdom of Bhutan. Yeah, so I'm going to say I know a lot of people have had good results with eBay. I have not personally. The one time that I got fake silver was on eBay. And I'm going to say if you go to the pawn shops, be careful because some of the pawn shops, I'm not saying every single one of them, some of them will way overcharge you. Be careful about that. Definitely check your prices before you make a final transaction in the pawn shops. If you go to smartphone, it's the simplest thing. Look up the year and the coin and the mint, and you should be able to see what the fair price is. If you don't, then you might walk out of the pawn shop and then check it later on and be crying because you realize you overpaid. Not all of them are like that, but some of them are, so just be careful. Do I want one of those Cambodia wildlife ones? I'm gonna hold off on that. A lot of the Australian coins are already out for 2023. All right, we're looking pretty good here. Yeah, the magnets will help to some extent. Hey, Wasatch Wizards, good to see you. The magnet test is a pretty good one. The ping test is pretty good. My friend Anthony from Palmetto Prepared did a recent video where he showed how to do a ping test. There's a certain sound that silver will make when you tap it with another piece of silver, and that's a good indicator. Of course, if you go into a reputable coin shop with it, they'll answer. Just don't bring in like a giant box of silver and ask them to check every coin. That's kind of annoying. You know, if you're having to do that, you probably need to be going to more reputable dealers anyways. That might be it for me for now. And then I'll add, let's see, gold is still at a fantastic price, right? So let's take a look at the gold here, and then that's probably going to be it for me. All right, gold. All right, so I'm back to gold available products. Let's go down to the 2023s. Where did I miss it? Oh, there we go. And then let's see what we got. Yeah, I'm looking at like a 10th ounce here. I'll probably grab one of these Britannias. All right, so that brings my total up to, let's see. All right, 413. Yeah, so I'm good to go. That's probably going to be my order. Let's take a look at it again. If I can afford it, the quarter ounce is a better way to go with the gold. You're going to get more gold for your money. Yeah, so Band Talk, I saw that. They posted something on Instagram and they were extending some of the sales. So maybe check back in. They were going to try to do it till 11 or midnight tonight. They were having some problems. They got a little bit flooded. Steve, good to see you. All right, where's my card here? All right, so this is what I'm looking at. So we got 5 ounces of silver and a 10th ounce of gold for 413. That's probably going to be my order for today. Start my 2023s. That's not going to be the end of it, of course, but that at least kind of starts my tube for the 2023s. All right, let's go ahead and finish this one out. Did I miss any questions or comments? Let's see. If I did, please throw it back up. I apologize. And I want to give a big shout out here again to my buddy Bacon. Let me put his channel up, who's always been helpful here. He's been with me since the beginning, helping with all my live streams. I really appreciate you, brother. Please check out his channel. He usually streams on Friday nights. And let me throw up also, this is my affiliate link for Apmex. If you use it, I do get a little commission, and it helps me out, helps me be able to do, you know, more giveaways and things like that in the future. So if you're thinking about making a purchase, please consider using my affiliate link. I would definitely appreciate it. Hope you got something of value out of this video. Remember, I am going to do a giveaway here, and I'm going to go through that real quick once more. This is not affiliated with YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or any of those other social media. This is just Prepping with Sarge, giving you a piece of an 1878 Morgan from my own personal collection as a thank you to this community for a great year in 2022. And to be eligible for this, you must be a resident of the continental U.S., the 48 continental states. You want to go to my Facebook page right here and scroll down to, you're welcome. Thank you for coming by, LG. Appreciate you. Scroll down to this post right here with the 1878 Morgan, and it says, I can't believe I did this, and comment in here, hashtag prepping with Sarge, one word. All right. And I will do that drawing on Friday, December 30th during my live stream. So I'll pick the winner live on the live stream. Make sure you have made that comment by 12 a.m. on the 30th to be eligible. All right. I appreciate y'all. Let me check comments here real quick, see if anybody left me a question or anything that I missed. If I did, I'm so sorry. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with it. I hope you learned something with this today. Actually, I am. Yeah, Ben Talk. I'm originally from Massachusetts, but I've moved around a lot. I lived in Kentucky for 10 years, and most recently now I'm in South Carolina, but I'm originally from Massachusetts. Good catch. All right, I'm not seeing any questions here, so I hope you all have a great weekend. Thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. Keep planting your seeds. Keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge.